Hello my loves, we have got the new moon in Pisces coming up tomorrow, so I'm just bobbing on quickly to explore that a little bit. And I wonder if anybody has been feeling a little bit emotional recently, as if stuff's like coming up that they haven't experienced for a while, and perhaps some of our shadow stuff's starting to emerge and you're thinking, whoa, where's that coming from? Well, Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac, so it's almost like an ending as well as new beginnings. So we know that the new moon is always about new beginnings, isn't it? It's that time to really go within, to take that pause and to reflect on what we want to create for ourselves. So this is a pretty special one. Now, because we're working with the element of water, and I love the element of water, we're very much focusing on those emotional feelings, the feeling of flow, but also very much a compassionate sign, a compassionate element, and one in which we can really harness our intuition and really feel into our dreaming, which is so important here, because this is all about dreaming a new future. It's about dreaming as widely and as deeply and as limitlessly as we possibly can. So when it comes to this moon, I really like to use the metaphor of the fish, well, fish and rivers. Okay, so my background is all in nature, so that's kind of where everything comes back to for me. And it's ironic that it's raining today, because this is all about water. So if you think about a little fish in an egg at the top of a stream, and it hatches and it swims about there for a little bit and it hangs out, and then it gets a little bit bigger and a little bit braver and it ventures out down the river. And so when the little fish ventures down the river, there are lots of different forms to rivers. So I'm a total geek here, so I'm warning you in advance, but the form of a river, we always have riffles or waterfalls, and this is where the water is disturbed and really oxygenated. We then have, by the rocks underneath, we then have pools. So underneath after a riffle, you find you get a pool where there's a bit of deeper water, where you can kind of hunker down, and if you're a fish, just kind of swim around in the bottom. It can be quite a safe place to be. And then you've got glides, which are these lovely longer stretches of river where the water just flows really beautifully. And then of course you've got meanders, the wiggly bits. You have unless the river's heavily modified, of course. So naturally we'd have meanders, we might have oxbow lakes, we might have little eddies and backwaters where the water kind of circulates back around in itself. And what I'm saying here is we can see that as a metaphor for our lives. So if we imagine our life so far, starting as a little person or a little fish, and the journey that we've had so far. So take a moment to recognise, where have you encountered rapids or waterfalls? Where have you been in that lovely deep pool of safety and comfort? And then when have you been in flow? When has your life been going so fucking wonderfully that you are whizzing along and just loving the ride? Perhaps you might recognise where there have been unexpected meanders and you've had to navigate going round some bends. And then you might notice where, and this is an interesting one, where you get stuck in a backwater or an eddy where the water recirculates on itself and sometimes you can't get out. It's a little bit like when you get stuck in a stopper on a weir where you're just churning and nothing will spit you out. You have to really do something about it. So this is quite relevant, because whilst we are the weavers of our own destiny, we kind of have to meet the universe halfway. So how can I put this? Our soul comes to earth for a reason, and we have a lifetime to fulfill potentially what our soul came to do here. We may or may not do that. So it's almost like we come down here with a trajectory in sight or in mind. But we also have choice in this lifetime as well. So we have to kind of meet it halfway. So we can have these wonderful dreams and desires and yearnings, and often these are so connected to our soul purpose. And then of course we have a choice whether we follow them or not. We can dig our heels and go, no, I'm going to carry on swimming upstream where it's really fucking difficult, and I'm just going to keep myself there and keep going. Or we can choose to, surrender to the flow and just allow ourselves to be carried along. So this is a balance for us. This is a balance which we all have to navigate. But how about we imagine that we've got to the mouth of the river So we've got to the mouth of the river, and there's this vast ocean in front of us, and we have so much potential in that ocean. It's limitless. We've completed the current phase of our life, and we are looking out to the future. We are looking out to our limitless possibilities, and this is where we get to dream really big. Okay, this is not about being small. This is not about playing it safe. We've come out of those safe places. We've come out of those pools, and we are at the beginning of a wonderful new adventure. So what is your new adventure? What are you going to dream for yourself? I would recommend taking some time today, tomorrow, just as we feel into this new moon energy. Of course, we can work with the energy the day before, the day of, or the day after, to really feel into what is it that I get excited about. What do I long for? What do I yearn for? What am I really drawn to do? And then just, I don't know, it's like when we set an intention, we can write this down as well, and we really feel into it. The world is our oyster. There we go. There's a good ocean connection there, isn't it? The world is our oyster. And I love that when the moon is dark, so when we've got the dark moon, we see the stars so brightly, don't we? So if you imagine a beautiful, calm ocean and the stars above, and they're shining so brightly, reflecting off the ocean, it's almost like these are the sparks of our potential. What wonderful potential do we have, and what can we dream into our being? So here's the thing. How do we bring all that stuff that's here in our mind actually into reality, into our body? So we kind of have to do a little bit of work there, because otherwise it's just all imaginations. And there are so many different ways of doing this. So one thing is to write it down. You know, that actually brings it into physical form in this reality. That can always be really helpful. That's why I always say journaling is a really good way of bringing stuff into being. Excuse me. The practice I'm going to work with today, because water is so powerful, and we can charge water with our intention. If anybody's followed Masaru Emoto or Veda Austin, would really recommend having a look at their work. It's all about how our emotions, how our thoughts, how our feelings, our way of being influences water and the structure of water and the energy of water. So if we, for example, can set our intention and almost infuse water with that. So this is a practice that I'm going to do tonight, where we hold the water against our heart, all the things we truly love and desire and we want for ourselves in the future. We're charging with our heart energy. How beautiful is that? And when we can really visualize what we want in the future, and we can bring that into our heart energy, that's really powerful stuff. So I would invite you to put a glass of water next to your heart, really deeply feel into what it is you want to bring into your life. Allow that to be infused in the water, and then drink it. Drink that water of life, knowing how the charged water can make such a difference in your physical body. For anybody that would like to join me for my moon circle tonight, it is at 7 o'clock, and I will pop the link in the comments below, or you can give me a thumbs up and I will send you the link direct. I hope this is a beautiful moon for you. I hope that it's the beginning of some wonderful transformations. And I'm going to go home and have a shower now because I'm really cold. Love you all loads.